What's up, everyone? Welcome back to another episode of the Heel Hookers podcast, episode 125. It's been a little bit since we all sat down together to enjoy some nice MMA talks because we ain't had nothing going on. But this weekend, they're coming back MMA with a bang. We got a whole lot of shit, and most of it I am not going to be watching.
That's so true.
Well, I honestly did because I know that we have Aries on Friday, which I'm never able to watch because it's during the day, but have off on Friday so we can actually watch that. Have a good one card on Friday, mostly Muay Thai. We got PFL Europe, we got Brave, we got Ryzen, and
we
of course...
CFFC.
Oh shit, didn't even know that. Another one into the...
We literally just talked about the fact that Bilal Hassan is fighting this Friday.
Oh yeah, I totally
You're a goddamn
forgot
fool.
About to say, and on Sunday there's apparently fucking Ryzen.
Yeah, Ryzen.
Which all of us watched.
We said Bilal, not CFFC. Okay, completely different.
Alright, guy.
Either way, we got a whole lot of stuff going on. But of course, the important stuff that we're talking about is UFC Paris, September 28th, KT's birthday.
Yay!
Let's go!
Yeah.
But we actually have a pretty alright card for this one. It is not too bad. The first time in this 3-year stretch of having Paris in like September for the UFC that we're not having Cyril Gane headline the event, so that is definitely something. Starting to get a mix-up. I mean,
thank God.
Hey, the first one, it was real good. Him versus fucking Bang Bang, you know what I mean? Tai Tuivasa, that shit was awesome. But then we got him versus Tybura, or Spivak, sorry, in the last one. And it was like, that's not really... No one was looking forward to that.
No one was looking for it, but I kind of get it. Put two big-name Europeans on top of the card. Try and get as many people out to as possible. You know what I mean? I kind of get it, but I kind of don't at the same time. I think it was dumb, but I also... At that point, when they went, I don't think really BSD was the name he is now. Who else are you going to have headline Paris?
You want to know what I'm pretty impressed with about the card?
What?
We talk about this often, is a lot of times when the UFC goes places and they try to stack the card with that specific region of fighters, and we kind of end up with pretty meh fights. We have a French fighter in every fight on the main card, and they're all good matchups, all fun fights. Like, it's all actually really good. You know what I mean? Like, just so many times it's like, okay, you clearly just threw him here because he's French. And even if that is the case, it's still matched up that, like, these are going to be such good fights. Yeah. So I'm very happy about that.
And the thing is, like, France has been coming out with a lot of really good fighters. It's not like if they went to, like,
Canada?
Canada.
That's the best example.
No, it'd be like if they went to Italy right now, right? They got Marvin Vittori. And that's about it.
Yeah. And, like, it's honestly kind of crazy that with, like, France just within... Because it was 22 that I'm pretty sure they legalized MMA, and that's why the UFC went there. Like, the amount of French fighters that we have on this card, with them having their, like, the sport legalized for 2 years in their country. And we have, like, so many French fighters. Bro, literally Canada this year, we had, 5 Canadian fighters or some shit? You know what I mean? It's like, that shit's been around and okay forever, and, like... Just to your point of, like, we're getting a lot of good talent. There are so many good, talented combat athletes out of France, and they're starting to head over to MMA.
I think one of the weird things about it is France, ironically, does have a pretty, like, legit martial arts scene just in general.
Well, because they got a lot of good kickboxers, right? Like,
that's what I mean.
And
like, they have a lot of good kickboxers.
I think it's
they have a lot of, like,
in the Olympics they do very good in.
Okay.
Yeah, Sambo. I know that they have, like, there's, trying to think of the French. Savat, I think, is originated in France.
Something like that.
But no, they kind of have a history of martial arts in their country, so it just, like, kind of makes sense. Canada never really had that. Other places, kind of the same thing. But then you got places like, you think about, not necessarily martial arts, but like combat sports. You think like, okay, America, you got, wrestling and boxing. You think about Mexico, boxing, their boxing dominance, all that. But like other countries kind of don't have that same thing.
Nah, for sure. But either way, we're back in Paris for another UFC event this year. And like we said, very solid. The main event this time, motherfucking Renato Moicano, Money Moicano, is looking for his first win in his third 5-round fight in the UFC. kind of crazy that it's only his third 5-round fight, like with as long that he's been around. But
yes and no. It's one of those things where he never really made it to like the highest heights where it makes sense for him to be in there. But in things like this, where you can have a big fight or a good fight, then it could make sense.
Yeah.
But yeah.
Because even like at 45, like, you know, just getting solid wins, and like that's where he got his first 5-round fight. Korean Zombie gets finished in the first round, gets another 5-rounder co-main event on a pay-per-view against RDA, loses that one as well. But he's been on a nice little streak since then. 3-fight winning streak, 2 finishes within. Got the finish over Brad Riddell, the decision over Drew Dober, which was, you know, kind of lackluster, but still solid. And then the win over Jalen Turner.
His first TKO
in
win.
His entire career. Just absolutely incredible. Moicano coming off of his first
fight. I'll never not be mad about it.
It's perfect. But Moicano coming off of his first KO TKO win in his career, taking on Benoit Saint-Denis, the motherfucking Frenchman with an undying spirit, coming off of his first KO TKO loss in his.
Oh yeah.
I know you've been bringing up these points, but 2 things to that is Moicano is not Dustin.
No.
I know we know that, and you're not saying that, but he's not Dustin.
100%.
Benoit, you know, staff obviously playing a point or whatever, but it's like he has clear flaws.
Yes.
The thing is I'm not sure Moicano can capitalize on these flaws.
No.
Benoit is open and he swings crazy, especially when backed up on the cage. But when Moicano gets, like, when he starts eating some of these shots, is he going to have that know-how of, like, okay, he's going to be open here and be able to land a big one of his own enough to back Benoit up? Possibly drop him, you know what I mean? Yeah. Like, I don't know. And I think the grappling's going to be super interesting. Yes. Moicano can literally only get rear naked chokes. Yeah. That's it. He has 10 submission wins, 10 rear naked chokes. Like, I don't know.
He only has 1 submission loss in his career. Benoit does have more submission wins than KOs in his on his record. 1 submission loss coming to Brian Ortega. And 3rd round guillotine, which is the classic Ortega.
And it's Brian Ortega, like one of the best, you know, guys, like, you know, in that weight class at that time for jiu-jitsu.
Oh, yeah.
The only other loss on Benoit's record is a decision to Elias Zaleski, which should not. Oh, my God.
Up a weight class, short notice type shit, but...
That was bad for him.
I just don't know.
Short notice debut.
I just don't know if Moicano can get it done.
I don't see him having the power. I don't see him having the takedowns that would be able to get Benoit down, and even if it does, that it's not like that is only Moicano's world. That is somewhere where Benoit Saint-Denis is extremely comfortable in.
Exactly. That's the thing, is with Moicano being the best on the ground and his thing being RNCs, it's like Benoit's biggest flaws is on the feet, and that's why I don't think that Moicano can capitalize on his issues and get the win done, and I don't think he's going to do more than Benoit to get the decision. You know what I mean? I don't think this goes to a decision.
I don't think
at the fuck all. But even let's say it did, I just don't know that Moicano's going to even do more throughout it to win that. You know what I mean? Even if he does survive, it's like Benoit puts that pressure on. He's definitely physical in there and he's active. Like, he's not just going to sit back, wait for that one shot and allow himself to lose rounds. Like, so this is a tough fucking fight for Moicano. Yeah. But if he wins, God, I can't wait for that speech.
Oh, yeah.
That's going to be a wild speech. But yeah, I kind of see the same thing. I could easily see Benoit just being able to push Moicano back, because, like, Moicano was shooting takedowns on Dober, who, you know, most KOs in, you know, lightweight history, so, like, fair enough, but, like, it's like, I just see Benoit being able to push him back and trying to shoot in for takedowns, and Benoit is much better with submissions than Dober. I can see him trying to wrap up a dart, trying to wrap something up just to use as a transition to get to the back, to get control time, try and get a rear naked choke. I didn't see him doing so many more things on the ground than Dober would, that I just don't. I think that he is way more dangerous for Moicano than a lot of other people are, because Moicano has that trump card of, if I get you down, I'm just going to be able to win this round.
No, yeah, for sure, because it's like Jimmy said, he has more subs than he does knockouts. Like, he started getting more knockouts in the UFC. Out of his 5
Which is insane.
Yeah, overall, he has 4 KO wins. In his 5 UFC fights, he has 3 KO wins. Like, he only had 1 knockout in the regional scenes. Yeah. He's just been subbing the shit out of people. He has gone to decision 1 time and it was a loss. Like,
Yeah,
that's why I don't know about this for Moicano, man.
The biggest thing for me with this fight is Benoit Saint-Denis, no doubt in my mind, has the ability to go out there within the first 2 rounds and just blast the doors off Moicano and find any way to finish him. You know what I mean? That would not be surprising at all. The things that I am curious about is, one, he did get knocked the fuck out by Dustin 6 months ago. 6.5 months ago, but at this point, by the time they fight. That is not the most time of a layoff. You know what I mean? After taking, your first knockout loss like that. He also had a grappling match in May of this year.
Yep.
2 months later.
I was already, skeptical of Benoit as the person he is. I didn't think that he was going to take much time off, and that he's, he really blamed that loss and, the performance off of the staff and not being able to, push more. And you know what I mean? That's, that's why he lost that. I would not be surprised if he honestly, with that loss and because of having staff and how to play it out, he isn't taking serious, the actual technical flaws that he showed in that fight and the real reasons why Dustin was able to put him out. Being this his first main event now in front of his home country, and, there's going to be so much pressure on him. It's Moicano is not this big hitter at all, but he is just a tough old vet, 35 years old compared to 28 years old for Benoit Saint-Denis. I wouldn't be surprised if he's able to, find a really good jab in those moments of Benoit trying to just push forward, be aggressive, and Moicano just landing, those good enough shots to, just stop him for those moments, and then to, Moicano to find his opportunities for a takedown, or, if Benoit's just pushing forward too much, just, duck under shots, get a takedown, work to the back, something. I don't know, man. For a while, I really have just been feeling Moicano in this fight, and I'm just still riding with him. I feel like he's going to find the opportunities in there, and those... It's going to be tough as hell. He's going to eat bombs, and he's probably going to have to, get a back win in his last one, but I think it's entirely possible for him to get it done. He can't afford to lose, man. Moicano want money, and it's that fucking will and spirit to go, that could really help bring a motherfucker to a certain level. And I feel like Benoit is still at that level in his career right now, where just that want in ability of Moicano, I think he can get it done.
I mean, I get it. I get what you're saying. I just do think there's I'm not gonna overstate that though, and I'm going to go with the guy who I think can have more ways of winning. That is going to be Benoit Saint-Denis. I'm also curious because if I remember right, he left his gym, so I'm kind of curious what that's going to look like, and I can understand that it being a younger MMA gym, moving maybe to a new spot, someone with more experience in certain areas, and actually, and how that dynamic is going to work out, because maybe he actually did need to change the scenery so he could actually grow, because maybe his coaches weren't able to parlay exactly what he was doing wrong technically in a way that he understood and really get to it. So it's one of those things where I'm always curious when a fighter moves gyms, okay, how are they going to look in their next one specifically, but then also moving forward, how do they look their second and third fights with that camp? Because that's when you're really going to see the differences, is that second and third fight when you've had multiple camps. Under a new coach.
There are some transitions with fighters to a new place where it's entirely seamless. You know what I mean? Just in their next fight, you can see their instant upgrades. But there are other places it has growing pains. You know what I mean? It takes a little bit to get used to all of it. So that's just going to be another factor of the questions behind Benoit, how he's going to perform in this one. But either way, two just amazing guys at 155 pounds. This is going to be such a fun fight. And I don't think this is going to. I would be entirely shocked if this goes 5 rounds.
I would be surprised if this goes 5. I just feel like either of them can, realistically, if there's going to be a finish from Moicano, is going to be an RNC, but I could see him being in the 4th or 5th round potentially. But also, I could see Benoit, winning this in the first 2.5.
Yeah, it's going to be good. 155 pounds, we're definitely in a transitional period throughout just the top 15 and the upper guys and everything.
Yep.
do you think that whoever wins here could like step into a real big fight, or do you think it's gonna be like specific on who wins, how they get it done, or?
I think it depends, because
kind of depends, yeah.
the thing is it really opens things up with Dan Hooker being number 5 and being in there.
Yeah.
Because Dan Hooker's gonna fight anybody.
Yeah.
And because of that, if one of them wins in exciting fashion, I could definitely see that being their next path of like, hey, let's just put them with Dan Hooker. You know, it'll be a fun fight, and yeah. And especially like, let's say it's Benoit. They clearly wanted to give him that boost by giving him Dustin after beating Frivola.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I'm not saying it's easy because Dan Hooker is one tough son of a bitch, but like if he could go out there and he could beat Dan Hooker, and you know, obviously it's gonna be a fun fight no matter what. That's the path, because he already lost to Dustin. That's not happening again. Gaethje's not taking that fight. Oliveira's not taking that fight. Armin's fighting for a title next. You know?
Because that's where, because it's like, you know, Oliveira's fighting Chandler, and like I did see Dustin, like, you know, just saying trilogy. I think it was today or whatever. So hinting at a potential trilogy with Gaethje. So
and that's kind of where I pictured that going.
And I wasn't sure if you guys thought like that was more likely. And then with Dan Hooker being the new guy in the top 5, it's like, okay, well, everyone's booked, so now you have to welcome the next guy up. Or if they would try to do like, let's say because, like, if Benoit wins, like you said, you know, you can't go back to him versus Dustin. So maybe, like, Benoit versus Gaethje, and then maybe we could get Dustin versus Dan Hooker, too. You know what I mean? Do you think, like, that's a possibility? Or do you think they're just going to go Justin, and Dan Hooker gets the winner of this?
I think so, because it's like...
I can see that.
For Gaethje, there's no reason for him to take that fight. You know what I mean? Like, him versus Dustin, I've said it before, I would watch that 20 times over. You know what I mean? I wouldn't care how many times they booked that. I would watch that fight every single time and be excited for that fight every single time. So with that being said, he knows it's a big fight. He knows it's a draw. He knows he's going to get paid. Why is he going to take this young, up-and-coming guy? Like, yeah, he could go out there and put out a scrap and, like, you know, whatever. But, like, for what, you know? I'm just not sure that he would do that.
No, yeah.
He did the fight with Fiziev. He ended up winning, and now he's probably like, you know what I mean? Yeah. He's older. He's on his way out. He's been questioning certain things. He said if he ever goes to sleep like he did against Max again, he's out of there. You know,
yeah. The only things I'm right now in my head thinking about, because I know a couple people haven't like outright said their intentions, but like potentially, like depending on how things work out, because obviously we have Charles Chandler on the horizon.
Yeah.
Potential Gaethje Poirier, Armin fighting for the title. Hooker's always someone like I'm kind of worried about trying to book because he does seem to be a bit injury prone. He tends to get hurt sometimes during camp, so like I'm kind of always hesitant to book him, like fantasy book him forward a certain amount of time. And I could see potentially like one of them fighting like just right outside of the top, technically 6, but right outside the top 5, like a Beneil Dariush.
Maybe.
I'm just saying, like, because
honestly, I was gonna say if it was Benoit, because
really?
I wouldn't be surprised if it's like the UFC looking at it. It's like, okay, like you beat Moicano, but you just beat Moicano and you just got fucked up by Dustin. Let's like give you a little bit more time before sending you right back up into the deep end of the division. You know what I mean?
I don't think it wouldn't be offered, but it's like, do you think Benny wants to take a fight like that?
Benny
I don't know what the fuck Benny's doing.
I don't know either.
The thing is with Benny is
Bro, he said so long ago that if he wasn't gonna like be the champ, then he's like done, and now he's on 2-fight losing streak. Like
and that's the thing is like with that he said like he's just, because after the Armin loss, like he said that he was like kind of contemplating it because it's like getting finished like that. It's like what's the point? And now we're coming up on a year since he's fought.
Yeah, and it's like, what, he's going to fight Benoit coming off of, like, a knockout or something?
Exactly, like, that's what I mean. I'm not sure Benny takes that. Like, I'm sure they'll offer it, but Benny's going to be like, fuck that. But I think he would take a Moicano fight, because even if he got subbed, he's more than likely not going to get knocked out by him, and he can have a much better performance against the Moicano.
No, that's very low.
I feel like, all right, so if, let's say Benoit wins, right? The thing with that is, though, like, I can see Dariush being handed 2 contracts. One for Fiziev and one for Benoit. Which do you fucking take?
Fiziev.
Like,
for sure.
Fiziev, like, just because, like, you do have the takedown threat,
Yeah.
And I get that, but it's just like, fuck.
Because it's like, what, is he the best grappler he fought was Gamrot? Fucking...
Gamrot RDA.
Okay, yeah. Benny would whoop them both in grappling, you know what I mean? Like, so... And he's also much more threatening on the feet with, like, that... But no, yeah, I definitely get your point. It's rough for him no matter... If he decides to fight, like, he's not getting match made favorably by the UFC, you know what I mean?
No, yeah, exactly.
155, it's always going to be rough.
Sincerely don't know who Physique's going to fight when he comes back. Like, they could easily just put him against, like, you know,
I mean,
they can put him against Benil. They could put him against...
If Moicano wins, fucking Moicano, Benny, and then fucking Physique Dan Hooker.
Yeah.
That ain't nobody going to complain about that, you know what I mean? Like,
I'm not going to complain on either of those fights.
Yeah,
Chills.
like, so... We'll see how everything plays out, how the UFC decides to book it, but it's 155, so you can't really go wrong. Just waiting for it. Just 2 years, this division is going to look so different. It's going to be crazy.
No, yeah.
But moving on to the co-main event, to another division that has been changing a lot recently.
Yeah,
185 pounds.
That's definitely in a transitional period as well.
Yes. We have the two best up-and-coming guys in the division that have absolutely no hype on them and the fans don't give a single fuck about. Nasruddin Imavov versus Brendan Allen. It sucks to say, but it's like, bro, both of these guys should, like, whoever wins this fight, like, in all reality, could be getting a title shot. Like, you know, in terms of, like, just the actual division ranking, like, meritocracy and all of that.
In terms of pure meritocracy, they should be.
Yeah.
Why are, like, nobody cares about them, and that's why they're the co-main event to Benoit and Moicano. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I think it would have been an easier pill to swallow if Nasruddin did not have the controversial standing TKO against Jared Cannonier.
Yes.
If he had, like, legit knocked him out, there'd be hype on him. There would
be way more, for sure.
No, yeah, because it's like just going to a little over a year ago, well, you know, but like the loss to Sean Strickland, and then the no contest with Chris Curtis, and then the majority decision over Delize, and then the controversial stoppage with Jared.
Yeah.
It's just not a great past four fights. And I'm not trying to talk shit because I think he's going to win this, honestly. But
because, before that, Ian Heinisch and Edmund Shabazian and Joaquin Buck.
Mm-hmm.
Like, overall, like, a very solid run throughout the last 7 or so.
No, yeah, for sure. But it's just like with the way the last 4 are, with one loss, the no contest, the majority decision, so not even like unanimous, and then the controversial stoppage. It doesn't look great for him, for people that are kind of, you know?
Yeah.
They go to look at his record, they want to know what he's done, and it's like, oh, this is what he's been up to? Like...
Exactly. Where on the other side, where, it's like me mentioning those, like, other 3 wins, and then, like you said, the loss, no contest, and now, like, a 2-fight winning streak off of that. It's like Brendan Allen, 7-fight winning streak, 5 rear naked chokes in there. That's...
The last one was dicey, though.
It was. It definitely was. And that's where it's just so hard too, because both of them are on such a solid, good run, but then they have the things where it's like, are we really excited? You know what I mean? Like, it's hard, and that's why a lot of fans don't really care, because with some of these performances, I feel like a lot of fans just don't look at them as, like, one of the next elite guys in this division. You know?
Yeah, and it's also like they're both young, too. Brendan Allen, 28, and I think Nasruddin's also 28, right?
Yes, 28.
28 or 29.
So, you know, it's like, they're young guys, they're going on their streaks. I mean, Allen is on a streak right now. He's been doing much better. Like you said, the last one a bit dicey, but... Yeah, they're definitely not getting the respect they deserve. But shit, maybe with this fight, I do think it'll be a lot of fun before one of them finishes each other. And
you think it will go to a finish?
I do think so. I think either Brendan's getting the sub, or I think Nasruddin's knocking him out.
I could see a decision, but if it goes to a decision, it's going to be a grinding out Brendan Allen performance to a 3-1 decision against the cage.
Like...
Yeah, I feel like this is going to be good.
Honestly, I can...
Well, I'm saying, like, if it goes to a
winning a decision, or, like you said, Allen by sub, Nasruddin by knockout. I'm really not entirely sure how it's going to play out. Because it's like, Allen can grind it out, like, you know, with, like, just grabbing a hold of him on the cage takedowns, but, like, I wouldn't be surprised if Allen, like, maybe he's struggling with the grappling, and now he, like, really is fighting to not get knocked out. You know what I mean? And now Nasruddin's just point fighting on the outside.
So then he's fighting.
You know,
he's fighting off the back foot. Exactly. I could see that.
I don't know.
Honestly, I'm just really curious how Nasruddin does deal with Brendan Allen's grappling, because he's got a lot better grappling than Jared
Listen,
Kinnan.
It'll be my birthday and every fight's going to a finish, okay?
I'm not sure. But, I mean, either way...
I can hope for you, but...
I do think that this should play out to be a fun fight, though.
Yeah.
Yeah, it should. Realistically, like you said, yes, they should be getting a title. They should be deserving of a title shot after this, but when you got Sean Strickland still up there bitching and moaning about not getting a title shot.
Yeah, the top of the division is fucked.
You got Whitaker fighting Hamzat, and if either of them win really at this point, fans are going to accept that guy as fighting for the championship. Doesn't matter if it's Whitaker or Hamzat.
Yeah, bro, like if fucking Whitaker, like, on short notice fucking knocks out Ikram like that and then fucking gets rebooked, has to get rebooked against Hamzat, and then goes out there and, let's say, does something in similar fashion, bro, who the fuck is not gonna be like, okay, it's Bobby Knuckles? Like,
no,
I feel like all of the hype is gonna be back on him, you know what I mean?
Yeah, because everyone's gonna be like, okay, maybe it really was Whitaker coming off like like him just being like in a bad mental state, or like just not taking it as maybe there was something to that.
Yeah,
maybe
bro,
because
who the fuck takes Drika seriously, especially on his come up? You know what I mean? Like,
no, exactly. That's the thing. It's like, especially on his come up, and it's like,
bro, he just got a finish in a championship fight where he the fucking the screenshots of like the things that he did. It's
bro,
like,
the face plant into an ankle pick is my favorite. That lives rent free in my brain.
Yeah, bro,
that lives rent free. That's something
stupid.
I won't forget. Incredible.
Yeah, man.
That was fucking stupid.
Yeah, so it's like fucking Whitaker, like, been in there fucking goddamn 50 minutes with Yoel Romero, Izzy twice, fucking Jared, Darren Till, Marv, fucking everyone in the goddamn world. Fucking Drakus.
He was this close to beating
Drakus?
Izzy the second time. It was a split decision. Like, it was close that second time against Izzy.
Yeah.
So it's like, maybe there really was something to him just trying to come back maybe too early or whatever. Like, not taking it,
But yeah. But for Imavov and Allen, for sure, in order for like one of them to get their name in the mix with the winner of Whitaker Hamzat or like Sean Strickland, they're gonna need a giant impressive performance here. Like, gonna have to completely shut the other one out. Fucking have a crazy post-fight, on the mic interview and just like calling out for the title, something. You know what I mean? Like they're gonna have to really make their claim for that shot.
I was about to say, I don't care who, like, yeah, you're gonna have to say something fucking insane.
You're gonna have to go up there like Moicano.
Yeah,
my father's 60 and just had another child. I will not stop.
No, like, you really would have to say something insane, like, to actually get Drakus into a fight, because, like, he still thinks Strickland should fight someone else.
I mean, yeah,
I agree.
That's champions want new challenges. You know what I mean?
Well, the problem is with that is the other one, the only other contendership fight at the moment for him. They said he doesn't mind is Whitaker and Hamzat.
Yeah,
but like with the Whitaker fight, it'd be like, all right, he's coming off a win over fucking Hamzat. He's on a 3-fight win streak against Paulo, Ikram on short notice, and then Hamzat. Like, it's hard to deny that, man. At that point.
No, yeah. But should be a good fight. Definitely a meaningful fight in the top of the division at 185 pounds. Moving on down, featured bout, featherweight division. It's so disrespectful. It's one of those things where it's like, obviously, like, people just fight, so they're going to take whatever is offered at the time and who's available, whatever. But motherfucking Joe Anderson Brito, 5-fight winning streak, all finishes at 145 pounds. He should be not only fighting a top 15 guy, he should already be ranked as a top 15 guy, but he doesn't have a number, and he's taken on William Gomis, who's 3-0 in the UFC. He's, got some decent wins, definitely a very solid fighter, a very good striker.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
But is his striking good enough to get through the well-roundedness and just the finishing potential, standing ground everywhere of Joe Anderson?
We gonna fucking see. I'm so excited for this.
We're going to find out because this
I think it's a really good
fight.
test of his power and just his actual striking and just overall game, because he has just been running through these guys, which is why, like, you know what, he doesn't even have to prove it, because it's like, getting through. Oh, you know what, I guess the Jack Shore one was a bit, I totally forgot that was the cut on the shin.
Yeah.
But like the JSP, Weston Wilson, Lucas Alexander, Andre Fili, like, he ran through them.
The fact that he's gone from Andre Fili and like Bill Algeo to like
in his first 2 UFC fights.
To like people lower than that in my head, I'm kind of like, what happened here? A lot of times we've beat Andre Fili, like, you're moving up in the division.
Yeah, and it's like me and Kate were talking about that, and it's like it's one of those things where Andre Fili is for sure the best name on like out of like the 5 wins that he has in a row now.
Yes.
But honestly, in my opinion, a 2022 win over Andre Fili, like, in terms of like technical skill and like what it shows for your ability in the division, I don't think that's as impressive as getting the ninja choke over JSP or finishing Jack Shore like in his last 2. In my opinion, I think that those 2 are like better wins, but the Fili name is definitely the best like there.
You know what win is really like aging like a fine wine on his record?
Diego Lopez.
The Diego Lopez win in 2021. That is aged like a fine fucking wine.
Yeah, because he's 5-1 in the UFC. The one lost the unanimous decision, lost to Bill Algeo UFC debut. But his 2 fights before that,
Diego Lopez and Pepe Mariscal.
Exactly. So
that's
like,
insane.
He, like, out of his last 8 fights, like the 7 wins, a very solid run, an amazing fighter, and it's like, yeah, man, I do not know if William Gomis is going to be able to hang with him. In my head, I'm just kind of thinking it's like, does Brito fuck around and try and just strike on the feet the whole time and finish him there? Or does he actually, like, just be like, let me just take this guy down and try and...
The thing is like, he might, because, stay on the feet and strike with him, because Gomis, while he's doing really well and he's had, just been on a great streak... With his 3-0 in the UFC, his last one, he got that 3rd-round body kick over Yanis Gamori, so good for him. But he's been having a lot of close fights.
Yes. Francis
Marshall, the Jarno Aarons, like, they were just close fights. I don't know if this is going to be close, and, I'm not sure. I think it's going to be fun.
Yeah.
This should be a fun fight.
Yeah,
100%.
I do think it's going to be fun. I feel like Brito's going to run over him, in my opinion. I
also think that.
I kind of have the same feeling, and in my opinion, I don't know if he has a fight book, but let's get him that top 15 spot. No, he's not fighting anyone at the moment. Let's get him Edson Barbosa.
Barbosa doesn't need to be knocked out again.
I mean, Danny Gay's booked.
Why do you always do this, Ginger?
Yeah, because guess what? Danny Gay's booked.
It's fine. Let him fight, and then you give him a fucking 3-week notice fight against Brito. He'll take it. It's fine.
That's so true.
Actually, actually.
Barbosa. Oh my god.
Better.
Oh.
Better. Wow. Higher up, but I like it just as much. And versus Giga.
Yes. Yeah. That is the right answer. Because the thing is when they booked Kyle Nelson and Calvin Kattar, I was so mad because the person who should have gotten that random jump of top 10 right away was Brito.
Yeah.
Actually,
obviously Kattar is out. Well, Kattar pulled out of the fight because he got injured.
Yeah, so it'll be out for a bit probably.
Giga.
It depends on the injury.
Yeah. Let's just get him Giga.
Because it's and then with Gomis, because it's like, even with the last one, like getting the 3rd-round body kick finish over Yanis Gamori, it's like, bruh, Peyton dusted that dude. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It took him damn near the whole fight to get it done. Like, I feel like it's just levels, man. Burrito's
and that's what I was trying to say. Like, is that he's on a solid streak, but it's been really close calls. Even the Yannis one was like closer up until he did get that body kick, and it's like you said, Peyton knocked him the fuck out in 19 seconds.
Yeah.
Like, if Burrito kept it standing the whole time. I love him versus Cater. If he kept it standing the whole time,
I will take him against anyone in the top 15. It's going to be a great fight.
God
you know what
damn.
I mean? Yeah, man.
No, yeah, exactly.
145 pounds. Great. I love it.
Great
so
division.
Many good guys. MMA is just so great right now. There are just so many great up and coming fighters, And so I guess like with saying like right now, there's obviously a lot of shit, but it's like just seeing all of the seeds planted all over the place. You know what I mean? It's just like the years to come. It should be.
170's definitely like nearing the end of its transitionary period.
Yeah,
because of all the names that are already up in like the top 10.
Yeah, for sure.
But speaking of 170,
I'm excited for this fight too.
Bruh,
this is gonna be a good one.
Kevin Jousset versus Brian Battle. I love Brian Battle so much. I don't know. Who do you guys got in this one? Do you think Brian's gonna be able to get it done? I'm sure we're all rooting for him to win, but do you think he is gonna be able to get it done over Kevin Jousset in Kevin's home country?
I think so.
I also think so, but I'm not sure.
It's not going to be an easy fight.
Somebody's 10-2 record has to go, you know?
Someone's 2 has got to go.
Yeah, man. I really don't know. Like, it's...
The thing is like Brian Battle, he's obviously been around for longer. He's been doing very well in his last couple fights. That Ange Lusa fight in his last one was absolute bullshit because he was whooping him and Lusa didn't want that no more. He has just been showing some really great things, Like he lost the decision to Renat.
Yeah.
Before that, he lost his second fight. And that's not saying anything because it's like, even with fucking Kevin, he's 2-0 in the UFC.
Yep.
He has the knockout, the RNC over Kiefer Crosby, the decision over Song Kanan. But his only losses, like his first loss was to JDM.
Yep.
Back in Regionals 2019, doctor stoppage over a cut and a split decision to some guy.
Yep.
It's like, I just think Brian has done more. He has more experience and he's pretty fucking aggressive.
Yeah.
Let's see if Kevin can hang with that.
Yeah,
I'm sorry. I have to mention it. That is not the second guy he lost. That is not a real name. Caleb with a K. Rideout.
People got names.
That is not a real name.
People got names. You know what I mean?
Of course, his nickname is Crazy Horse with a K.
That's awesome. But yeah, because it's like his Brian Battle's record, UFC 5-1-1 no contest. Like it's very solid. But it's like, it's just hard because with his one loss being to Renat is clearly very good. And he is right there at like, that top 15 level. All of his other wins aren't really the greatest, like, people, like, just individual. So I really am just unsure of where he's actually at, especially, just the welterweight division. And I just don't know where... Like, I'm just really unsure unless it's just, like, a specific matchup of, like, oh, you're given, like, a really tough fight, or, like, you're given some scrub that you should beat. It's, like, someone like Kevin Jousset, 2-0, who's, like, coming up trying to do his own thing. Like, I really don't know who's going to be able to get the better.
So the way that I look at it is, like, let's go with the Gabe Green win, for instance. He did exactly what he should have done, which... is what, you know what I mean, which I think shows something from him. Because Gabe Green's loss before that was a unanimous decision to Ian Gary.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? He went all 3 rounds with Ian Gary. Brian Battle went out there and fucking knocked him out in 14 seconds. Like, he did exactly what he should have.
Hometown fucking, too. I remember that. That was...
AJ Fletcher, AJ loves to go and grapple. And what did he do? He rear naked choked him in the second round.
Yep.
It's like, I just think that he's doing exactly what he's supposed to be doing to these guys to show, like, no, I am levels above you. So while they're, like, obviously levels below his losses, it just shows that that's not where he is. He is going through them. So someone like Kevin, it's like, I feel like it's going to show kind of where Kevin's at, if anything.
That's
Only
fair.
2 fights in the UFC, you know what I mean? Like,
not really.
That's a very fair point.
Yeah, because like his best name, in the UFC is Kanan Song. That's not the greatest name on your record either. So it's kind of like one of those, double-edged swords when you're talking about names.
Oh, yeah.
You know what I mean? Because, like, I could also go through and say, but he's also, on The Ultimate Fighter, he beat Andre Petrosky and, won The Ultimate Fighter during his amateurs, he beat Cody Brundage.
Like, and the Ultimate Fighter was up at
and Impa Kasanganai.
Yeah.
We could pull names.
Good. I did not realize that he had those names on his amateur record.
No.
Both undefeated amateurs as well.
Yeah, I didn't realize that either. But yeah, so I think that Brian's gonna show out here. Honestly,
I would love that. I
feel like that's entirely possible.
Get the upset in France over Kevin Jousset. That would be awesome. I would all for that for sure. Let's go, Brian Battle.
So far, outside of the main and co-main event, which we all agree are kind of both like we could see going either way, we are so far going completely against France. Hey, and all I gotta say is that is the most American thing we can be doing right now.
Well, in this next one, I'm not really too sure if I'm going against France because Morgan Charrier, he is a very fun fighter, does not have the greatest record underneath him, a stellar record of 19-10-1.
It's so untelling of him, though.
It's just,
he's a good fighter.
He's good.
There's so many fighters like that, and unless you watch them, you will not understand it. You know what I mean?
He is like one of those examples of, records are for DJs argument type thing, where it's just like, no, like, don't just look at the record on this guy. Like, trust me, he's good.
Yeah, and he puts on fun fights. It's like, he lost the split decision to Chepe in his last one. I personally thought he won that, but whatever. It was super fucking close. Got fight of the night.
Super close.
It was incredible.
Again, it's Chepe Mariscal.
Right.
Who, if we need to run down his resume, is fucking stupid.
No, yeah, exactly. So it's like just another great fight, but I do think that Morgan could get it done in this one.
Yeah. Because Gabriel Miranda, 1-1 in the UFC, got finished by Benoit, beat Shane Young 59 seconds into the first round.
All he's got is subs for him.
Yeah, and Shane Young is on a 4-fight losing. Last loss being to Gabriel Miranda, which he lost. He missed weight in that one. So, it's like this is definitely a setup fight for Morgan Charrier to look amazing and get it done.
Well, I will say we're definitely going to see his grappling in this. We could definitely see how that goes because he has 3 sub wins, 1 loss.
He did good with the grappling in Chepe. He took Chepe down at one point.
That's very true.
That is true. Like
I kind of forgot about that.
I think
that's
his grappling is gonna just hold up.
I just got caught up looking at Gabriel Miranda, the fact that he's 17 and whatever losses, and 16 of his wins are all submissions. I was like, damn, he is clearly a threat on the ground.
For sure.
We might be able to see his scrambling abilities to a degree, but I remember seeing that in the Mariscal fight as well. I just think this is a kind of a setup fight for Morgan. I really love him. Like he is a fun fucking fighter. He's down to scrap. Gabriel, I don't think he's going to be able to have the chin to be able to stand up to it.
It's very fair. Last fight on the main card, Faraz Ziam, a very solid technical fighter, taking on Matt Favola, who is not as technical, but he's the fucking steamroller. Faraz Ziam has never been knocked out. Do you think Matt Favola can go out there in France? Do you think it's going to be one of those things where this motherfucker fought Benoit Saint-Denis in MSG, his home spot, and got fucked up? So now he's got to go to France for the redemption? But against a much lower level fighter in Faraz Ziam.
He's knocked out someone who's never been knocked out before. 2 of his wins are against undefeated. 2 of his last 3 wins are against undefeated fighters who had never been knocked out. And then also he cracked Drew Dober. Like, it's hard to not just be like, yeah, if he gets his fucking, if he connects clean, he's going to put he can put anyone out. Like, it's one of those things.
It's like he's just one of those fighters where it's like, he like consistent fight over fight, he's shown to be at a certain level, and that's why he's like right outside the top 15. But bro, on a very special night for Matt Favola, dude could go out there and fucking knock out Charles Oliveira 1 punch in the first round. You know what I mean? Like that's he's just one of them fighters.
He's one of those guys where it's just like, I
don't know.
Just one fucking night, all of a sudden his hands are Thor's fucking hammers and just knocks out anyone.
But yeah, man. I don't know if Matt's gonna be able to get it done. It's tough.
It's tough
because it's like you said,
Faraz is a really good technical fighter.
Exactly.
So if he keeps him on the outside, he's not even gonna give him the chance to be able to do it.
Yeah. But I'm definitely rooting for Favola knockout round 1. Let's fucking
go.
And that is the main card for the UFC from Paris. prelims, we got some pretty decent fights, some good fun stuff going on. What do you guys want to talk about? Because we do got 14 fights on this card, so it feels like an extra long card. It's been a while since we had 14. But yeah, what fight on the prelims do you guys want to talk about? Bring up
Ludwig Klein and Roosevelt Roberts.
Yes. I know we all wanted to talk about that fight.
Yeah, it's the clear. I am just so thankful that Nicholas Mota pulled out. Because
he didn't have to be in there with Ludwig Klein. No, that's so fucked up.
Yes, like bro, as soon as you told me that, there wasn't a single part of me that was excited, happy, or anything. It was just why who the fuck is Mota's manager that allowed that fight to get signed and booked? Do you know what I mean? Terrible. Good thing he pulled out. We get Roosevelt Roberts. Should put on a much better scrap. But I feel like his fate is going to be the same at the end of the day.
Probably.
Yeah. He's getting knocked out.
Ludwig Klein is such a good, solid striker. He is so fun at 155 pounds. Roosevelt Roberts is good too, very tall and lengthy. But he doesn't use it the best, and he can definitely get backed up and get beat up on sometimes. And it's like, you just can't let Klein do that to you.
No,
you can't.
That's Klein's territory right there. If he gets you backed up behind that, the black octagon onto the cage, you're in for a long night. Short night, but I could see that. I could just see a second round fucking overhand right.
Yeah. Let's go. Should be a good one, though.
Yes.
Motherfucking my boy, Vince Morales, he is back. He got a Peruvian necktie recently in the regional scene. That was very nice. Back in the UFC. Didn't have the greatest run the first time, but he's a solid fighter. Very fun to watch. He's not, like, thrilling, you know what I mean? Like, fucking knock him, rock him, sock him, robots, whatever. But just, he's technical, and I don't know. I just enjoy it.
Yo, he got the Peruvian necktie over that guy I kept forgetting from The Ultimate Fighter. Hunter
Azor.
Oh, that's who he hit with it?
Yeah.
Oh, I didn't know that. That's sad. Damn. Poor Hunter. But yeah, he's taking on Taylor Lapilus. I do think that should be a fun scrap. 135 pounds. Definitely looking to see who gets it done on that one.
I was about to say, I think Taylor's got that. Because that was the fight I was about to bring up, too. Because I just... three guys on this card I watched live at Louisville, which is funny, Taylor Lapilus being one of them. And he's just like... He's just good. He's just so fucking good. And this was just booked this way, and I kind of find it funny that Taylor goes from Cody Stamann to Vince Morales. You know what I mean? Re-debuting fight. It's just kind of weird that it gets booked that way, and I just feel like Taylor's just extremely technical, is not going to be taken down, and his striking is just going to be too much for Vince, I think.
It's very probable. Yeah, we got Chris Duncan on the card, Jacqueline Cavalcante on the card, Eileen Perez, Omar C, Ion Cutelaba in the prelim headliner. We got a lot of good names, a lot of fun fights.
Yeah, I mean, the biggest reason why we have Cavalcante is because GDR had to pull out.
Yeah.
Very sad.
So sad.
It's the same reason we don't have Morgan Shira versus AJ Cunningham.
Yep. That's fine.
But, that's not a big deal, but I'm just saying.
Well, let's
couple
go.
Of cancellations. Not a lot, though.
Yeah, only 3. Not too bad of a card. Very excited to see how it plays out. Let's go. But we do got a little bit of news to talk about. Oh, I'm excited for this one. Motherfucking Renier de Ritter, RDR, he gets signed to the UFC.
Yep.
I need someone to talk about what the fuck happened.
Yeah.
Because this dude, double champ, undefeated in 1, gets absolutely smashed by Anatoly twice in a row, loses both of his titles, and then apparently just, I don't know, just said, I don't know if, his contract was up or something. I don't know if he got released, but just took a fight not too long after, his last loss to Anatoly. Got a win in, UAE Warriors, I think?
Yep.
Yeah. And then now he's signed to the UFC, and it's what the fuck happened?
I don't know, because didn't he go on saying something about, fuck you, 1 championship, I'm still gonna fight?
Yep.
Something along those lines, which makes it seem like he wasn't released and he just decided, I'm gonna go fight somewhere else. Like,
yeah, so I don't know. I cannot wait for that media day to hear like the questions about that. He's probably gonna talk much shit about Chatri, and Dana White is gonna love it.
Yep.
So yeah,
honestly, I'm gonna love it. To be fair,
it's gonna be fun.
But I'm also like, fuck all promoters, so you know.
So, because my initial assumption, because like I don't know if there was anything like in just like anything. I'm assuming that he's gonna fight at 185 pounds middleweight division.
I did see that he was gonna sign to middleweight.
Okay. Because like his fight in UAE Warriors was at light heavyweight 205 pounds, so I wasn't exactly sure, you know, if he was gonna commit to that or 185.
I think he commits to 185. They get him someone probably in the top 15 first fight. More than likely.
But yeah.
I see a couple names he can go up against.
Yeah, I feel like he'll definitely get a ranked fighter for sure. So with that, how far do you think RDR could go in the middleweight division?
I think at most, he caps out at top 5. And that might be a little generous, but I feel like that's where he would cap out as. I don't see him being able to get to be champion. I just think there are too many guys who are just...
You know what? I honestly, if the UFC wanted to just do the right thing and be fun, winner of Whitaker Hamzat gets the next title shot.
Okay.
And let's do motherfucking RDR in his debut versus Sean Strickland. Let's just fuck it.
They won't do it, but I love it. Why not?
Bro, I would honestly love to see that fight. Because RDR's whole thing is his jiu-jitsu, and that's where he's gonna, like, just, you know, be able to show out. It's like, he was absolutely crushed by, like, the pressure and power of Anatoly in their 2 fights.
Yeah.
I feel like the just big punchers and just aggressive fighters at 185 pounds might give him that same sort of problem. Bro, Sean Strickland, that's a way different kind of pressure, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
But... So I would love to see how he deals with that. It's not big bombs coming at him, so let's see if he's able to get the jiu-jitsu going and how Sean's able to deal with that.
No, yeah, that fight specifically is definitely interesting, but that was the point that I was going to bring up was how he got crushed by Anatoly. I know that Anatoly is obviously jacked and powerful as fuck. Like, you know, he's different, but...
5'10"?
Yeah, something like that. 5'10", maybe 5'11".
I think they say 6 foot, but I don't believe it.
There's no way. Okay. He just doesn't handle getting hit well. Like, he crumbles under big punches.
Yes.
And not like, oh, I'm knocked out. But, like, he gives up almost. Like, he's just, like, not willing to be in there for a war. And there's so many people that'll give him an issue. So it's like, yeah, he beat Sean. And then he gets Dricus.
Another big, powerful pressure fighter who's good on the feet.
No, like I know what you mean, but it's like I think Whitaker could knock him the fuck out.
Yeah.
Like I think that Izzy could probably land a big shot that has him like, fuck. That's a good fight too. I'd be interested in that, but
it's a good fight for current Izzy. If it's against current Izzy, because I would love to see pre-title fight fucking contender Izzy when he was actually a pressure fucking fighter and actually pushed forward with his striking. I think that's the biggest problem Izzy at the moment is how he changed his style, but we can talk about that later.
I mean that's where it's hard because I feel like a lot of matchups where he could do well and get the win and you know what I mean and like be able to get to the top, get into a title fight. But there are just the certain people where it's like, bro, I wouldn't be surprised if he struggled with Paulo, you know what I mean? Like
Paulo.
Yeah, I was kind of thinking that.
Bro, Kaio would rip him apart. That would
Kaio rips him apart.
You want to know what I was thinking? Even if you went towards the back half of the division, imagine his first fight was Michel Pereira.
Oh my fucking god, no.
Exactly.
Roman Dolidze.
Exactly. That's doable. I think he could.
You forget Roman Dolidze is a really good grappler.
Oh yeah.
No, I think like what I'm saying is it's a good fight, and I wouldn't be surprised either way with that one. But like,
to be fair, I think Roman takes that because I feel like he can stuff the takedowns, and like he is such a powerful guy. Like RDR is gonna like, I think RDR like is kind of like a Jack Hermanson in a way.
And RDR is big too, like 6'4" with the 79-inch reach. Like,
no, yeah, I'm just saying like the way like I've seen him against Anatoly, and the way you guys describe it, like I can see him being very much like a Jack Hermanson, where he just kind of like kind of folds after getting hit.
But that's where it's hard because like that's where I'm just really interested to see him against, especially the guys at 185 pounds in the UFC, because it's like, bro, Anatoly was a heavyweight that came down. You know what I mean? Like, he's a heavy, and like
came down to 205.
And like he fought Anatoly at 225 and 205. You know what I mean? So it's like, it's just actually getting down to 185 in the UFC. It's like, I'm just. How's that actually going to look? He might be able to just handle it way better. You know what I mean?
I just wonder if the cut's going to... Maybe. Because that's kind of what I was thinking. Is like 205 is where I think it might be a little different, but it's, again, depending.
Yeah.
But it's like 185, cutting that extra weight where he hasn't been at 185 in... Since 2018.
Yeah, we'll see. But definitely a great addition to the middleweight division. I feel like we're constantly getting just new good additions to 185 pounds. You know what I mean? It's getting better and better.
No, yeah.
Should be a whole lot of fun, though.
In like 2 years.
But along with some fight news and all that, we got some fight cancellations, which does suck.
Yeah.
UFC 308, we lost Cyril Gane versus Alexander Volkov. Volkov pulled out due to a knee injury. It's like one of the bigger fights on the card, obviously, so it sucks to lose that, but it's such a big stack card anyway. It's not like they're really missing out on too. And well, just I don't know. We'll see when Volkov is back, and maybe they could just do a different booking. You know what I mean? Guess Cyril Gane against Curtis Blades, maybe. You know what I mean?
Jai Alton.
For Jai Alton, I'd be fine with Volkov versus someone that's favorable to him, so he can get a title shot. You know, but that's just me. I don't know.
Well, who else does Volkov? Honestly, well, the thing is, depending on how long Volkov, because it was a knee injury, depending on how long it takes for him to come back, I wouldn't mind just plugging him into a fucking fight against Tom Aspinall, who will more than likely be undisputed because John Jones is more than likely retiring at the end of the fucking year. So,
I don't know. I saw a fucking thing today that Jones is less than 11 months from being the longest reigning UFC heavyweight champ. Isn't that so fucking crazy to think about? This motherfucker doesn't have one title defense. Less than 11 months away from being the longest reigning champ. All he's got to do is beat Stipe and fuck around with the UFC to say that he wants money to fight Tom Aspinall. And he's gonna have that record for the most days. But that's just you know what I mean? Just things to think about. Also, a funny thing about that, Conor McGregor had the lightweight title longer than Charles Oliveira.
Yeah.
But hey, that's just UFC sometimes. The big stars doing their thing, you know? But yeah, definitely sucks to lose that on UFC 308. We also lost a pretty big fight on UFC 307, Salt Lake City. Aljamain Sterling pulling out against Movsar Evloev. That definitely sucks. I was really excited about that, honestly. I'm sure a lot of people don't really care, but I care.
Would have been some fun grappling for sure.
Yeah. Aljo trying his hardest to not be the first person Movsar finishes the UFC. You know what I mean? Like, that's... Like, I feel like every fight Movsar has and he wins by decision, like, the next fight, there's just way more pressure on that next person to not get finished. You know what I mean? Like...
Because when that day finally comes, like...
that person is never living it down.
No.
Nope.
It's going to be really funny if it's Ilya. That would be awesome.
That'd be kind of funny, I'm not going to lie.
Kind of like Bilal with the standing TKO over Sean Brady.
Sean Brady.
Like,
you guys are never going to live that down. You're never going to let me live that down.
Yeah, but so it sucks to lose those fights on those cards, but not the biggest losses. Hopefully they come back soon. Big fight at 185 pounds. Bo Knuckle finally getting a big step up in competition for him. fighting a top 15 guy. Pretty sure Paul Craig is still ranked. Is he?
Yes.
Okay, cool.
He fucking should be.
No.
No, he's not.
Well, shit.
Well, he's gonna be right at. Paul Craig's like literally probably like number 6 fucking teen at this point.
Yeah.
Like, let's be fair here.
But
he's
either
like
way,
16, 17. He's right outside of it.
If Bo Nickel beats Paul Craig, then he's definitely gonna bump Chris Curtis out of the top 15 to take that ranking. But that will also show that he will never do anything good. Because if you're good, you just gotta lose to Paul Craig, and it just is what it is.
Specifically, lose your O.
Yes.
So, I don't know. I don't know if Bo Nickel's gonna do the right thing and get subbed by Paul Craig. You know what I mean? Like, it's really, if he wants to be a champion in the UFC and go on to do great things, he's gotta get fucked up by Paul Craig.
Not fucked up. He needs to get subbed in the last round.
Bro, that would be so funny. Just Paul just doing another Ankalaev. Just fucking 1 second left fucking triangle. Choke, like, oh my god. That would be the greatest thing for Paul Craig's career. That'd be awesome. But that should be a pretty fun fight as long as it lasts. I'm gonna assume Bo Nickel's probably just gonna knock him the fuck out. I don't know. We'll see. Maybe he wants to fuck around and grapple with Paul Craig. I would love that too. Oh my god, bro, please. Please hurt Paul Craig and then take him down. You know what I mean? He's done right then and there.
Yeah, it's like, he's going to try to take it down. All of a sudden, Paul Craig's going to throw his fucking legs up armbar. He's going to throw up his legs, get an armbar triangle, dislocate his elbow, and then start hammer fisting. I will never let that go.
But yeah, we'll see how that plays out.
That ref was so bad.
Yeah, terrible. Very meaningful fight though taking place. Strawweight division, 115 pounds. Tatiana Suarez fighting Virna Jandiroba. I don't understand the UFC doing this. Like, the only thing that makes sense for the UFC to book this fight is if Zhang Weili specifically herself is like, I just don't really care to fight right now. Like, if she just understands that she's on the back end of her title reign and she maybe only has a few more and just like, just whenever, you know what I mean? Then it's like, okay, then it's, you know, I mean, it sucks for the division, but it's like we don't really have a lot of contenders, and it's Zhang Weili, so I like her, so she can do whatever the fuck she wants. You know what I mean? But I don't know.
Is it weird that it's now weird again seeing Valentina Shevchenko at 125 champion on the UFC page when looking at the divisions?
A little bit.
Yeah.
But yeah, because it's like, it
does. It doesn't make sense. But at the same time, I kind of understand it with Tatiana being out for so long, kind of like, but then also at the same time, like, then you're risking injury if she wins, and then
so the thing is,
we're doing this whole thing again.
Kind of like, I don't know, because I was saying it to Jimmy, is that, like, one, the booking itself, because, like, I feel like they should have just done Virna Zhang and then Tatiana somebody else, and then she could have been in the title picture. But I don't know, I kind of understand them not wanting to just throw her right into a title fight and five round fight, all this training and stuff, because it's like she's constantly getting injured. So if she can get through this fight camp and this fight without an injury, then maybe they'll actually feel safe enough to throw her in a title shot. I'm just not sure they're comfortable. It's like you're coming off of an injury, you are injury prone as fuck, and we're supposed to just put you in a title shot? I think it just doesn't make sense for Virna more than anything to not be fighting Zhang, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Yes. That's kind of where I'm falling on this one more so. It is unfair for Virna to have to fight another fight to potentially get a title shot when she's kind of already earned it.
Yeah.
And Tatiana is the one who needs to be fighting someone, and you could have done Tatiana versus Jiang Zhongnan.
Yeah.
Who's number 1 and number 2, and that would have easily been just as fine of a fight.
Yeah.
Yeah, because, like, I definitely get that. It's just, in my head, it's like she has the most hype on her out of any of the contenders, and it's knowing how injury prone she is. I just feel like that's something where you, like, you only got so many fucking matches to light left. You know what I mean? And
no, I definitely understand, but it's like yeah, exactly. She has such a big name. Now she's supposed to be in a title shot, and people actually care about the women's strawweight title because they're like, oh shit, it's Zhang Wei Li and Tatiana Suarez. Tatiana trains too hard. She gets injured. Now we don't have it. People are going to be upset.
Yep.
Or let's say she does go in there and she wins, but now she's injured and now she's out for however long, and it's just, you know what I mean? Like,
no, yeah.
I'm just not sure they want to risk it.
It definitely makes sense. It's like, yeah, we'll see. I feel like best case scenario. No,
I said which sucks.
No, yeah. I feel like best case scenario, Virna goes out there, looks amazing, gets a finish over a good, healthy Tatiana. You know what I mean? So she can just get as much hype as possible going into a Zhang fight, and because it's like I just feel like at this point, if I just with like everything you're saying, it's like if they don't want to just like, you know, put her in whatever and like have her like if they're gonna risk the injuries whatever and they just want to have her fight, I don't know, I feel like you might as well just have the other person win, because then it's like, what, now she beats Virna, there's no one else left in the division, and now she still goes in to fight Zhang, and she gets injured, you know what I mean? Because at least if they just booked her versus Zhang, Virna's the backup, easy, no problem, that's the thing that makes sense. She's injured, now you got that, you know?
I do agree with you, Jimmy, on that. Like, personally speaking, I think that's the better plan, because like I said, even if you want to see another fight before she fights for the title, again, Jan is right there. Jessica Andrade is right there. Yeah. But you have fighters.
Just beat Jessica.
No, yeah.
Fine,
just.
Well, like last.
You're saying?
No, Andrade.
August last year.
August of last year. So like I know it's been a year, but like it's not like it's been years.
No,
Like this was like her first stretch back years ago, you know?
Look, you gotta remember. Jessica has had like 12 fights since then.
Yeah, but that's not normal.
It feels like it's been 2 years.
I understand.
Bro, it feels like it's been 10 years since fucking Tatiana.
I know.
No,
because I said that and then I questioned it. I was like, wait, was it 2022?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. But no, I'm just saying, like, you have fighters here you could put against her. You got Lemos as well. Like,
but yeah. So we'll see. Hopefully. I mean, best case scenario is Tatiana is just healthy and just good to go. She doesn't have any more injuries, and then we could just have good shit. You know what I mean? Yes. Then it's like win or lose, whatever. But just her being healthy is definitely the best thing that could come out of all of this. But it is still a good fight at 100 pounds. Should be a lot of fun.
For sure.
Solid fight at 135 pounds. Former champ Cody Garbrandt, he is back taking on my boy Miles Johns. Cody might look really good in this fight and cruise to a unanimous decision win over Miles Johns, honestly. I feel like that's very possible. Johns just hasn't been progressing as much as I kind of thought he would, and he needs to find the line of like being aggressive with his physicality and everything and not gassing himself out, you know?
And Cody does have some slick counter-striking that he can employ at times, and he does have power.
Yeah, and I don't know if Miles Johns is just going to be like, oh, well, it's Cody. He's been knocked out so many times. Like, maybe I can just go after him, and it's like, I don't think he's at the level to just try and fucking brawl it out with Cody and come out on top, you know?
The thing is, you have to force Cody into that firefight, and Cody has been a lot smarter about it.
Yes.
You kind of need to like really, really challenge his ego for him to
you need
get into that.
You need to like
this point.
Land a big shot and like put him down for a second. You know what I mean? And like have that
and then start dancing.
And just like have the threat of like the but
you really have to make him like. You have to like actually get him like emotional and mad.
Yeah. So we'll see how that fight plays out. I definitely hope Miles Johns is able to come out on top. But if Cody gets it done, that's just a solid bounce back. Losing to Davison. But last little bit of news going over to one championship. Motherfucking John Lineker looking to come back to Muay Thai once again.
Left right spam to the end.
Yeah, it doesn't matter what striking discipline he fights in. He's good. He could fight in karate and he's still gonna fight the same fucking way. It does not matter. Like,
right hook to the body, left hook up top.
And then if he's feeling froggy, then it's just
Spam hooks.
That's it. It's beautiful. It's awesome. There's not much more to say other than motherfucking hands of stone is back.
Look,
you know what I mean?
Crowd a kicker.
Yeah.
It becomes a lot easier, you know?
Yeah. And then the next little bit of one championship news. Kate's boy, he's back. Johan. Take it away, Kate. How excited are you?
Oh god. Well, it's gonna be exciting. This is the Johan that's slightly older, but still only like 22 or some shit like that.
Yeah.
But in a matter of 4.5 minutes, a round and a half of Muay Thai, there was 6 knockdowns. 2 of them belonged, like, he got knocked down twice in the first round, knocked the dude down once, and then went out there and just knocked him down 3 fucking times in the first minute of the second round. It was wild. It was scary. You never knew who was going to go down when. It was awesome, but he's back so soon. It's just going to be fun, though, but whatever.
Just one of those things, man, where it's like in MMA, there's so much time of like, oh, wars and coming back too soon, all that. There's just none of that in Muay Thai.
They don't give a fuck.
Like, it just doesn't matter. These motherfuckers just fight all the time and they don't care. Like, it's crazy. And it's not like it's less brutal. You know what I mean?
No.
I mean, I guess maybe just because of like, just the less time in the rounds, it's just less overall, you know what I mean? Like, just the, like, with knockdown, I don't know, but then you just assume with the knockdowns and being able to come back in, it's like boxing, where you're just going to go and take more damage, you know what I mean?
I was about to also, when you have, like, 150 fights versus, like, 45, like, you start to wonder on that one.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's like you think of Fajita,
and even
the
then,
queen,
150...
22 years old, and she has over 200 fights, because I'm pretty sure her record is, what is it, 206 and
like 206
or 212 and like 6 losses, some shit like that. Something stupid for a 22-year-old. You know what I mean? Like,
and even then, my 150 is on. Yeah, my 150 is low by by fucking Muay Thai standards. Like, my 150 fights was low.
Yeah. Like, Thai fighters that fucking grow up doing it and shit, yeah. Like, you consistently see records of over 200-300 fights. Like, But
yeah, he got signed to one championship in May of this year, and this will be his 4th fight this year. Yeah.
I did not realize that.
Yeah.
Holy fuck. Bro, that was 4 months ago.
Yep. May 24th at that, the end of May, is when he got signed, and then he fought June 7th, September 6th, and now October 4th.
Yeah, it's crazy. I mean, yeah, even with the Lil Johan, you know what I mean? He got signed last year, and he's at like 8 fights already, so it's like, shit is absolutely wild. But yeah, that is definitely going to be a fight where if you look at fighting from any sort of like a technical standpoint and like wanting people to like fight in a smart way and not like take just the most damage possible.
This isn't the fight to watch.
Well, no, but it's going to be incredibly stressful.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, my God. It's great, though. I love it. Motherfucking Johan, let's go. Other than that, there ain't nothing else to talk about. That's the end of all of our shit for this episode of the podcast. I hope everyone enjoyed this one. Like and subscribe if you did. We will catch you all on the review. All the good fun. Peace.